Andre Blake recommends Philly Union Blueprint. A world-ready model for Jamaica. Jamaica's Reggae Boyz captain, Andre Blake, spoke with ESPN on his way to join the national team for their World Cup Intercontinental Playoffs in Mexico. In the interview, he reiterated a message he has championed for years: Jamaica will only reach its potential when it commits to a clear system of play that fits the players, and when squads are built around cohesion, not just big names. Blake pointed to the philosophy that has defined the Philadelphia Union, where he has been a cornerstone for nearly a decade. The Union are not always the most star-studded team in MLS, yet they consistently finish near the top of the league. Their success comes from hard work, tactical clarity, and a unified team spirit, qualities Blake believes Jamaica must embrace to compete at the highest level.
Come, let's talk about Jamaica. Obviously, World Cup playoffs wasn't the plan, when you looked at the group and whatnot. So you understand, of course, there would have been some disappointment there. But now that you've had, time, couple of months to kind of just reflect, what do you feel just didn't click or went wrong in that sense?
It it just I'm never concerned about the names because with names on paper we have a lot of quality, we have a lot of talent in the room. But I always say that, sometimes you don't need the best players, you need the right players. And like for anything to work, you need that chemistry, you need things to be clicking in the right moments. And I've still been trying to figure it out, but for whatever reason, we just couldn't really put the pieces together for it to click as all we know it can click, or as all we know that based on the names that we have on the field, we know that the level that we're performing is way below what we should be performing at. So it's just something along those lines where, yeah, our leaders or coaches have to figure out like what's our best, what are the right players to fit the system that we're trying to play. Because again, for anything to work, the pieces have to add up. So I think once we can get those pieces together, the right pieces in the right places, we can be a force for sure, no doubt.
So what is Jamaica's identity now?
I thought at first we had it figured out, but as time goes on, we realized that we didn't, but Jamaicans, we're fast, we're athletic, we're strong, that's our game, and again, if we want to slightly change identity, which is okay, but again, you have to have players that matches your identity for it to work, So whatever identity we want to move forward with, whatever system of play we want to use, whatever it is, then I think it is for it to work, we have to find the players that fits the system, because it's kind of difficult when you try to fit a system around players. If you find your system and then you bring the players in, I think you have a better chance of things clicking and being more successful.
And obviously, because of your position as a goalkeeper, it's kind of harder to go out there and do a lot of the job. But you also do get a vantage point to kind of see what system would work best for us and the players. And like I said, you've been such a part and captain and have been such a heartbeat of this Reggae Boys identity and squad. So what system do you feel best fits this group of players? Because it's one that we're going to look for now in a couple of days' time.
Yeah, I think when you look at like how strong, how fast, how athletic we are, we have to place a sort of transition system. Like some sort of transition system would fit our playing style. If you're fast, you need space to run into. If you're strong, then maybe you can sit into a mid block or something and then invite the teams to come, and then now you have space to transition into. So personally, I think more of a transition based style would fit us more, and it's a style where I've been in Jamaican teams before that we were okay without the ball. We were okay with suffering. The 2017 Gold Cup team that went to the finals. You know, we didn't have the most possession. You know, it wasn't the most beautiful soccer or football, but we were effective in what we do. You know, and we had guys that were willing to suffer for each other, to fight for each other, and we were willing to let teams have the ball, and we just hit them in transition, get one or two goals, and we know you're not scoring on us. And I think personally that's the best style for Jamaica. You know, I also think that football is slightly changing now, where everybody wants to play like Man City or Arsenal, or it doesn't fit everybody, you know. And I think that at the end of the day, you play the game to win the game, and it doesn't matter how you win the game. You know, so if it means that your style is ugly football, but you win the game, then you do what you do, you know, versus trying to be somebody that you are not and then end up not being as successful. So yeah, that's just that's it for me.
And then obviously there's been a change in management now at such a crucial time. Just take me into the locker room, into the camp. How is everyone feeling in terms of confidence? Is there still a little bit of uncertainty? I know everybody, of course, once they put on that shirt, they're going to fight for the flag. But what's the vibes been like? Does everyone still feel like, you know what, this is the team that still has everything that can take Jamaica back to another World Cup since '98?
It's been one day. We haven't fully gotten together yet. Everybody's still not here, but the vibe so far, I like the vibe, you know. I feel like everybody know what's at stake. You know, we all know what we got to do. Obviously, you know, this is not where we would want to be, you know, but this is where we are. And I think everybody is still confident, you know, we have a chance. The football is round, you know, and yeah, I think that we're all looking forward to it. We're all excited, and I know that everybody's gonna go out there and give their best. And sometimes we as Jamaicans tend to operate better when our backs are against the wall. So let's see.
Exactly. We look about with Talawa. Final question for me now, because of course, the opposition that you're expecting to face in the playoffs is, at least starting with New Caledonia, is unfamiliar opposition. You know, I think they themselves are also trying to write their name into the history books. And sometimes I say that unfamiliar opposition tends to be trickier. So how do you guys, prepare for this one? What are you expecting?
Yeah, we have one final to play and then another final. You know, that's how we have to approach it. Football has changed so much where you don't just show up with names and win games anymore. You know, so you have to go out there and perform. So I'm pretty sure all the players know what's at stake, and we all know that without winning the first game, there's no second game. You know, so the approach is going to be one game at a time. We don't know much about our opponent, but we're going to have to approach it as it's a finals and it's a must-win game, and we take it from there.
Jamaica, the Reggae Boyz completed a walking tour of Emancipation Park, grounding the group before departing. The squad arrived in Mexico later that evening to begin preparations for the crucial playoff fixture.
Another one, you see? Yeah. Hold on, Yeah. Daniel, how you good? Chill.
King Bless.
Yeah, man. What's up, boy?
How you doing?
Yeah, well, man, good? Good? Oh, we good? So, bro, you good? All going for you. Yo, Belly, welcome. You good? You know. You good? Tom, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.